Doug Fister looking to build on his first win with Washington. The Nats and Pirates close out a 4-game set from beautiful PNC Park. Well, it's probably an understatement to say the Nats need to score some runs, and they really need to win a road game. We've got a whole legion of fans over from the D.C. area this weekend. They deserve to see a W. We hope the guys can pull one out for them today and salvage a game of this series against the suddenly hot Pirates. Bob and FP, welcome back. It's been a while since we were with you since Friday night, and it sure has been a while, it seems, since Adam LaRoche played for this ball club. A welcome addition to a lineup that needs him really right now.
Yeah, it's a guy that's carried the offense all season long. The cleanup hitter is back in the cleanup spot. So for Adam LaRoche, the last 8 games, 360, a home run, 6 RBI, a 448 on base percentage, and don't forget about the glove at first base. So the lineup gets a little bit deeper and a little more healthier today. And he'll have a tough test against a lefty in Liriano, who is tough on lefties.
Well, the Nats are well under 500 since Adams' departure. Hopefully his return gets him back in that winning column. Good to have Doug Fister back. Now he can start settling in 3, 4, 5 starts and showing us what he can do.
Yeah, you'll see the real Doug Fister. And I think the last 2 starts you've seen the real Doug Fister. When you talk about what he did against the Diamondbacks on May 14th, 7 innings, gave up just 5 hits, struck out 6 D-backs, didn't walk anybody. And we saw the sinker in Doug Fister on display in Arizona, and then he backed it up last time out about stealing the show from Johnny Cueto in the Reds.
Yeah, he really did outduel Cueto, who came in with all the heralded ERA numbers and all that. All Doug Fister did was go out chasing pop flies, trying to catch foul balls. He delighted us with his effort at Nationals Park.
Yeah, he's a gamer. I mean, we love to watch him pitch. He's fired up, and he fires us up.
So here's Adam LaRoche, and you put it all together. The batting average, the walks, the on-base percentage, the extra base hits, the clutch hits, and, of course, the defense to go with it. A team leader. It's great to have number 25 back in the lineup today. Mobilizing your world, and by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book right now at OCOcean.com. Well, Doug Fister gets the call, fourth start. Can't wait to see him again. If last time out was any indication, he'll take on a Pirate team that has a season-high 4-game winning streak, and right in the shadow of the Roberto Clemente Bridge. A lot of standing room folks up there in the left field corner. Have a great time on the ramps up there. Festive ballpark and a lot of fun to watch a game here. Visit trainsurge.com. Find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train really hard, so the humidity really down. 77. It's going to be a nice warm afternoon for baseball, and she could be carrying off the bat of Ian Desmond again in this series. 3 for 9, 2 homers, 2 walks, twice hit by pitches, and he's been on fire, hitting safely 11 of his last 13 games now, and on base 24 of his last 26. Francisco Liriano, 1 game against the Nats, and he was brilliant in D.C. last July. FP 7 2/3, 2 hits, no runs. The Nats had a hard time solving him. He was on his way to becoming the National League Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah, last time out against the Orioles, he allowed 6 runs on 9 hits over 5 innings. So command has been an issue. I think he's a guy that you wait out, make him throw strikes. Once he establishes that zone, go get him. Fastball averages 92, slider 85, and the changeup 85 miles an hour as well. He will throw the changeup to lefties. A lot of lefties don't.
And we're underway at 136 with a strike to Denard Span. On base 4 times in this series and make it 5. That's just inside the bag. He's going to make the turn. Josh Harrison fires it in, and Denard Span spikes first for a game leadoff double.
There goes a no-hitter, first batter of the game. Denard Span style down the line. Beats Ike Davis. And Ike just looks at it. First base umpire Tim Welke calls it fair. Denard Span almost ran into Ike Davis as he made the turn around first base. It was fairly close. You see Davis just getting out of the way right there. And a leadoff double for Denard Span. And that's how this one starts.
So Denard with his 12th double of the year. He has 16 extra base hits. And a good spot for Anthony Rendon, who is so adept at taking the ball the other way, trying to either move the runner or just bring him right on in. Between Span and Rendon, that's only the 4th hit in 25 at bats in this series.
Lefties have not been a problem for the Nationals this year. They're hitting 284 as a ball club against left-handed pitching.
Rendon in this series, 2 walks, a base hit last night, and kind of a, well, I'll throw it anyway effort by Liriano. Jordy Mercer not even close to getting in behind Denard Span.
Denard Span was bracing for impact right there. Did you see that? He just kind of curled up and was hoping the ball didn't hit him in the number. I don't know why Liriano threw it. You don't have to throw it on a pickoff to second base.
He works from the third base end of the pitching rubber. And that's up and away, ball 1. 15-year veteran Tim Timmons has the plate. The crew chief Tim Welke started this series at the plate. Todd Tishner and Gabe Morales around the bases. Nats trying to bust up a season worst 4-game losing streak. And a 1-1. Soft toss 85.
Well, I'm doing my part. Got a new pen today. I got one of the players' sweatbands I'm wearing for good luck. I mean, I'm pulling out all the stops up here, and I know you are too.
Well, I broke my routine today. I actually came to the ballpark to work.
Yeah. Yesterday you were a fan.
Yeah, it was fun sitting downstairs with the Wisconsin Zimmermans, the Michigan McLouths, the Texas Rendons, and the Kansas LaRoches.
And the Oklahoma Carpenters.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
when I saw Jen LaRoche, I had a hint. Her husband might be in the lineup today. That's up and away. And Rendon works a walk. Nats off to a good start.
Well, you're 0-1 as a fan, so I'm glad you're in the booth today. Let's set the defense for the Pirates. Behind Francisco Liriano, Marte McCutchen Harris in the outfield, Mercer Alvarez left side, Walker Davis right side, and Chris Stewart behind the plate.
Funny thing was, we met the Zimmermans because we were 1 row off and we were in their seats. So they were nice enough just to take ours right behind us. It was okay.
It's a bigger first inning you would think. We've talked all year long how about the Nats are better than anybody in baseball from the 7th inning on. But the first 2 innings, 3 innings, they're the worst in baseball. So, you know, maybe getting off to a hot start here and getting some runs for Doug Fister is exactly what the doctor ordered. It's a big first inning.
Jason Worth, career 0 for 2 with a walk against Francisco Liriano. Strike one. By the way, you might have noticed the Pirates kind of in their old school 70s double knit uniforms today with the old gold caps with the black brims. Adds outside.
Get him in the strike zone, go to work.
Liriano 0-4 this year, making his 11th start. 4.86 the ERA. Lifetime, he's 69-66. Kind of interesting looking over his numbers. I was surprised that he's never thrown 200 innings in a season. His best season career was last year with the Pirates when he went 16-8. His high with Minnesota, 14 wins back in 2010 when he was 3 years removed from Tommy John surgery. Crowd starting to make a little noise as the count goes to 1-2.
Great crowd here today.
Worth, by the way, hitting left-handers .421, 4th highest by any batter in the league. Outfield straightaway, pretty deep for him. And Worth on an off-speed pitch won't be able to reach it. 1 out.
A big first out for Liriano. Look at pitch track. He didn't even throw a strike. Maybe one right there that was borderline. So Jason Worth didn't get him into the zone, forced the issue. And maybe that's just a byproduct of this team not scoring and Jason Worth trying to do too much right there in his first at bat.
Yeah. Well, that answers my question. They did boo Adam LaRoche here in Pittsburgh, first time back this year. That's all right. Man, when he went on the DL, he was in the top 10 in hitting, top 5 in on base percentage and walks. Hit safely he had in 15 of his previous 17 games. So let's see how Adam does as he starts all over here after 2 weeks on the shelf. Up the middle. It's between a couple of fielders. That was interesting. The shift momentarily appeared to confuse Mercer and Walker. And then finally Jordy Mercer made the play. Runners go up to second and third.
You play that straight up, it's a double play. And you look where they're playing, and I talk about this all the time. It's not so much that you're standing in a different spot. It's just your relationship to the other fielder. You never know who is going to get the ball. I mean, if you're playing straight up right there, Neil Walker grabs it. He flips it to Mercer. It's a 4-6-3 double play, and they're hitting right now. But because of the shift and guys not knowing the relationship to where the off fielder is, the Nats stay alive, and they're hit away from making this a 2-0 game.
And who would you want at the plate right now in a situation like this?
This guy.
Pirates, even though it's the first inning, may work Desmond carefully here. And that ball buried, and here comes Span. He scores. Ball gets away. Rendon thought about coming in behind him. Stays at third. The Nats lead 1-0 as Liriano just threw one right down into the dirt.
So instead of the Pirates grabbing their bats, putting their helmets on and their batting gloves, it's a 1-0 ball game on the slider, the 58-foot slider from Francisco Liriano. Watch Span at third, anticipating it all the way. Great jump by Span. And you were wondering if Anthony Rendon was going to score too. I think his back foot just edged the plate right there.
Well, aggressively by Span. Well done. Ball 1 to Desmond. And as we were thinking before that pitch was made, first base open, 2 outs, hottest hitter. You'd be shocked if you saw a fastball near the middle of the strike zone anywhere during this at bat. So it's 2-0.
Well, he's going to try to do to Ian Desmond what he did to Jason Worth, try to get him to fish.
And Desmond will go to right field to make it 2-0. Third RBI of the series on his 4th base hit. And in 4 games, barely into the 4th, really. Ian Desmond's been on base 8 times here in Pittsburgh.
And you got to wonder what Francisco Liriano was thinking on the mound. he had an ending inning double play in his mind. He made that pitch to Adam LaRoche. He's thinking 4-6-3. Here we go. Got out of the first inning. He turns around. Guys don't know where the ball is. And next thing you know, in a blink of an eye, it's 2-0 Nats. That has to rattle Liriano. Has to.
Here's Tyler Moore. And Desmond a running threat. Nats have done some stealing in this series. They've stolen 3 bags. Tyler Moore facing Liriano for the first time. And by the way, so did Desmond just now.
Carp, I was talking to Mark Wiedemeyer, the defensive coordinator for the Nationals, the other day in the clubhouse, and we were both wondering, I think it was the Friday night game, to where Zach Walters was hitting. They had a shift on, and then with 2 strikes, they went even farther to the pull side. And usually against a hitter with 2 strikes, you shade him a little bit to the opposite. There's Weeds right there. And we were wondering up here how much data they even had on Zach Walters to have that big shift. But very rarely do you see a team go even more pull with 2 strikes. They usually go the other way. We really couldn't come up with anything other than they were going to pound him in with 2 strikes.
That's a fastball. That is a strike. Tyler is not one of those guys who stands way off the plate. So you could still jam him a little and get a strike with it, and that's what Liriano did. Now probably here comes the soft stuff. He tried to dart the outside corner and missed with 94. Not about to throw a strike with it. And the count 1-1. Now they've taken a big crowd and quieted this place down in the top of the first. And that ball out to right center. That's going to drop. Heading for third, Desmond. And Tyler Moore is aboard. First base hit of this series. And a 2-out chance coming for Kevin Franzen.
That's a good old-fashioned hit it like he throws it. Off-speed pitch from Liriano off the end of Tyler Moore's bat. And Tyler Moore will take it. The Nats will take it. And folks, in the first inning, believe it or not, the line is moving. So wherever you're sitting at home, same seats. The Nats with the first inning rally, and it is awesome. We haven't seen this very often this year.
It's been a while. Has been a while. Here's the number 7 man, Kevin Franzen, in this series, 1 for 2. Like Desmond and Moore, who've both hit safely, facing Liriano for the first time. Franzen making his 17th start, and he's done it at 4 different positions. 3 on the infield and left field.
I'll tell you what, Carp, if Tyler Moore can draw a throw at first base, Ian Desmond's creeping down that line. He is just hoping for a throw over right here, and he's going to steal home. Watch this.
Alvarez giving him all the room he wants.
He was creeping down the line. Look, he's waiting for a throw over. And he was walking. He's waiting.
And a line drive caught by Alvarez. Well, I guess that's why he was giving Desmond all the room he wanted. He was playing way off the line, and that kept Franzen from putting the Nats up by 3. Good to hear the bats ringing in the top of the first. Number 28 for him. Nats got another run on a wild pitch, and here come the Pirates. Andrew McCutchen in this ballpark against the Nats. 406, the 8 homers, the 16 RBIs, but guess what? It was 8 and 16 coming into this series. He's 2 for 10 in this series. And here comes Doug Fister, third start career against the Pirates. Both of them were with the Tigers. Both were losses, but didn't pitch that badly as he locked things up with Jeff Locke. So it's Fister against the Pirates, who are 7th in the league in hitting and 9th in runs, and we'll get you all the Doug Fister arsenal information here shortly. Here's Harrison. Ball 1 outside.
Well, last start, we talked about it on the 20th against the Reds. We got the 9-3 win. Upstage Johnny Cueto, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. 109 pitches last time out for Fister. And you're talking about McCutchen, the guy in the batter's box is who the Nationals need to stop. He has killed them this whole series. Josh Harrison, offensively, defensively, wherever, on the bases.
4 hits, 2 RBIs. He's taken away a couple of runs. And that is a little bit outside, 2-1.
We got the game winner last night. Made a game-saving play on Saturday night, or on Friday night. Thursday with the robbage of Wilson Ramos.
He got it on the hands of Harrison there, backing out Franzen, and Denard Span, as he should, calls him off.
We'll switch him around for the Nats today. Tyler Moore in left field. Adam LaRoche back at first base. Kevin Franzen at second. And Jose Lobaton behind the plate. So the right-handed lineup for Matt Williams and Jose Lobaton giving Wilson Ramos a well-deserved day off after a night game.
Well, is there a must-win game at the end of May? You sure just want to grab one when you're coming home for a week-and-a-half homestand and you're trying to avert a sweep. Here's Neil Walker, and Fister just misses low and away. Walker facing Fister for the first time. Everybody else in the Pirates lineup today has faced him before. Hot shot right side, well picked by Franzen. Put him at first, second, third, or left field, and he does the job defensively.
Well, that's his natural position. Nats fans might not know this, but Kevin Franzen came up as a second baseman, and he looks like that's his natural position. Got an in-between hop, gave with it. Not a problem for the super utility player for the Nats, Kevin Franzen, getting it done wherever. Doug Fister trying to get his ball club right back in the dugout and have a shutdown inning.
Andrew McCutchen. Fister runs that ball right back to the outside corner at 81. And he goes right after him and strikes him out looking. McCutchen came into that AB 4 for 5 career against Doug Fister, and Doug just painted a couple of strikes here. After one, the Nats by 2. blast. This isn't exactly San Francisco when it comes to splash home runs. Way out there, 450 plus. Nats haven't been swept in a 4-game series since the Cubs right out of the All-Star break in 09. That was Jim Riggleman's first weekend as Nats manager. Pirates haven't swept since 06. And the Nats, even though they scored first last night, couldn't hold on to win. In previous years, their record a lot better than that when they've been able to get on the board first. Jose Lobaton gets the start today.
I'm not sure, but I think they were 98-0 in 2012 when they scored first.
Seemed like it. Alvarez kind of laid back and took that second hop and throws out Lobaton. With Fister and Span the next two. Jose playing sparingly lately. Now it's 4 for his last 28.
See what Doug Fister's got left on left. This is the first lefty he's faced, I believe. But he can hit.
No one lefty has a hit today. Span with the double.
Doug and I joking about his in-game interview last night on Fox, where we were having a nice little chat, and I asked him about Steven Strasburg stuff, and he said, oh, he's down with everything. He looks great, and Neil Walker hit one out to center field right in the middle of our little chat. And he was saying he felt like he jigged Strasburg last night. I said, no, he didn't. Just talking baseball. It just happened. Not a big deal.
So it happens to players, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ike Davis takes care of that. 2 outs.
You don't think we're superstitious? I mean, look at me over here. I got sweatbands hanging off me and everything. It's time for a fan photo. Let's go. Tweet your photo using hashtag Masson fan photos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Be a good photo right there, the bench. What if one of the players did it during the game? Think they get in trouble?
Yep. Here's Liriano facing Spandenar, now 3 for 7 career against him. In fact, they were teammates in Minnesota. Liriano did make 11 starts for the White Sox in 2012, and in the same, yeah, it was 12, and in the same division, Denard got some ABs against his former mate, and then again last year. No coincidence, though. First two guys got on. They both scored. Alvarez plays way off the line at third. 20 feet or so. And that is just outside to even the count. 1-1.
Well, you just wonder if that 11-pitch walk for Anthony Rendon, talking about the first 2 spots in the order, got him reloaded last night and locked in, because he lined a single to left right after that. Saw a lot of pitches in that at-bat off Garrett Cole.
And Span showing bunt, got Alvarez on the move. He can now back up with 2 strikes. And now Pedro Alvarez will play about 35 feet off the line at third base. Now everybody goes over into that rank pull position.
This is the part that kind of shocks me with 2 strikes. Hitters usually let the ball get deeper and go the other way with 2 strikes.
And Liriano did pitch him away. This is Alvarez with a bare hand, and he makes like a shortstop and makes a good play. That may have been the only place Denard Span could have hit that ball that he could be thrown out by Alvarez. The Nats go in order. Top of the second.
2014 Patriotic Series presented by SAIC on Memorial Day when the Nats take on the Marlins. 1:35 start. Miniature American flags will be distributed to fans as they enter the ballpark. For details, call 202-675-NATS or go to nationals.com/patriotic. Get your red, white, and blue on tomorrow. We'll
hydrate, hydrate, bring your ball caps. It's going to be hot at the yard tomorrow, huh?
Yes, I'll be hydrating.
High 80s, you told me?
After the game, yes. It's going to be a warm one.
1:35, first pitch tomorrow. Ike Davis in this series, 4 for 11, and hitting .295 as a Pirate. Pfister had him late for that one. Oh for 3 career against Doug Pfister. Starling Marte, Pedro Alvarez to follow here in the bottom of the second. Counts 2-1. Doug Pfister career 45 and 51. 131st career start. Third against the Pirates. That's a great changeup. 80 right in there.
Same motion, same delivery, nothing slowed down. Great arm speed. Dropped it in perfect.
He goes off speed again. Had the left-handed batter way out ahead. And Franson throws out Ike Davis. 4 straight to start the game.
When we talk about the experience factor with Doug Pfister and all the postseason games, all the World Series starts, his resume basically, you feel like he really knows what to do with a 2-run lead. Veteran guys that have been around know they have a cushion, and it allows them to get to all their pitches, pound the zone with everything. And right now, Doug Pfister throwing all 3 for strikes.
And he moves Marte off the plate with his first one. The free swinging Marte, 4th most strikeouts in the National League with 55. The Uptons and Ryan Howard ahead of him. There's that career we talked about. Solid ERA, 3.54 coming in. He jams the hitter, and Marte breaks his bat, hooking it foul.
Well, I like Doug Pfister today for the fact that he's throwing all 3 pitches for strikes, and we've seen that with him, but he's throwing in. And the one thing I've seen from the Pirates pitchers in this series, and talked to Clint Hurl about it, is their philosophy of in to win. They're not afraid to move hitters' feet. They're not afraid to hit guys if it happens to happen. But you see that pitch right there from Pfister going right back into the wood shop trying to get another bat.
Yeah, it looked like ball 3. Couldn't stop his swing. Marte struck out 138 times last year and 510 at bats, and he's ahead of that pace. And a 2-2. Tried to throw that same pitch he threw to McCutchen that ended the first inning and just missed away with it. He is ready when the hitter's ready. 3-2 with 1 out. And a big curveball gets Marte looking. What a hook that was.
I mean, not just this pitch to Marte, but everybody in the Pirates dugout saying, uh-oh, he's throwing everything for a strike whenever he wants. And I think that takes ultimate confidence as a pitcher to be able to throw whatever you want whenever you want. Today, Doug Pfister is doing exactly that to the Pirates. 3-2 curveball locked him up.
Here's Alvarez. 1 for 2 career against him with a walk. Alvarez hit a home run deep left center the other night, his only hit of this series.
And more so than the stuff and the mechanics, it's a mindset as a pitcher to when your club gets you the lead, that's it. I got it. I'll take it from here, boys. Thanks. And I've told you stories, Carp, about Tim Hudson coming in the dugout yelling, just get me 1 run.
Yeah.
And when we got him 1, he would say, that's all I need. You guys did your work. That's all I need. I mean, that's the kind of guys you want to run through a wall for.
High in the air, right field. Jason Worth. It's coming down. And when it does, We're in the third inning. Pfister dealing so far, 6 in a row.
Due up second for the Nats this half inning. There's all kinds of advanced metrics these days that measure defensive stuff, offensive stuff, pitching. Some of it is worth buying into, others maybe not so much. But there's a stat that ESPN has compiled that measures the percentage of balls that guys hit hard in play. Jason Worth ranks 4th in the majors on at-bats that ended in hard contact. His batting average just .272 this season, but Worth hitting the ball incredibly hard, just not really getting much to show for it so far this season, guys.
And if things do even out, as they say, though the guy to the right of me says that never works out, he'll have a pretty amazing second half of the season.
Well, the major league average on line drives is .661. So when a major leaguer hits a line drive, that's the average. Jason Worth is .435 when he hits a line drive.
Just keeps hitting the mat guys, right? Especially outfielders.
Well, he needs to change it up and do something different. We used to call that dumb hitting. Hit it where they ain't.
Suddenly, Anthony Rendon's become the guy the Pirates don't want to pitch to. 2 walks today, 4 in the series, and the second time in 3 innings the leadoff man's aboard.
Well, kind of to Dan's point, too, Carp, guys tend to have a tendency to switch their stances when they're not getting hits and change things up. And Rick Shue is really telling everybody that's been lining out into tough luck, stay with your approach, stay right where you are, don't change a thing.
Yeah. It's like what Matt Williams said the other day. Your brain automatically tells you you have to do something different when you're not getting the results, even though what you're doing is everything right. It's just natural, and it's hard to fight that.
There's Rick Really Big Shoe. That's what Chris Berman used to call him when he played.
That's good. Now he's behind Worth 2-0, enhancing Jason's chances of getting a pitch where he can hit a line drive. Got ahead of him first time, did Liriano, then dropped a nasty changeup on him to strike him out. Desmond picked up the inning with a 2-out RBI. Way outside, ball 3.
Not even close. 7 in a row. Ball 7.
All right, he's shown he can throw a strike.
Yeah, I don't think you go green light when you're throwing 7 in a row, so that's a good take by Worth. Get him back in the strike zone. Now get your pitch.
Jason in this series just 1 for 10, but he has walked 3 times. There's the changeup. Count's full. Rendon stole a base last night. And if there's an off-speed pitch in the offing here, he could be running again. He's got a good lead. He's holding. Liriano got a good look at him, and Worth pops it up right off the end of the bat. Adam LaRoche is back. He swung at the first pitch, first time up, grounded out, and Dan has more.
Guys, just the final point on kind of the hard hit ball stuff, and the Nats maybe having some bad luck. As a hitter, how do you adjust to that? I asked Adam LaRoche earlier today, and he brought up Jason Worth's name, but said that as a hitter, if you're getting balls caught on hard contact, it affects you when you step into the batter's box. You're looking around, trying to see where the defenders are. Maybe you try and guide a pitch into a gap. He says you never want to do that. You just want to be focused strictly on the pitcher, not worry about what's going on behind him. So he said there's times where it might feel like there's 15 defenders out there, but you can't really worry about that. You need to just focus on that pitch and trust that the approach will pay off.
Well, Adam had some good years here. 272 in 07, 21 homers, 88 RBIs, 25 homers, 85 the next year. And then when he got off to a less than stellar start in 09, the Pirates sent him to Boston in a 3-player deal, and then he ended up back in Atlanta where he had started his career in 04.
As a hitter, you can control what you can control at the plate. Once it leaves your bat, you can't steer it out there. It's all you can do is try to put the barrel on the baseball and let the rest take care of itself.
They've got Rendon picked off. 1-3. Oh, and they drop the ball. Now there's interference, and Rendon gets second base.
Is he okay, though? I think he got cleated.
You know, Ike Davis earlier almost ran into Denard Span. On another play at first base, he almost ran into Doug Fister. And right there, he runs into Rendon, who gets awarded second base on interference.
Where did Liriano step is what I want to know. To me, that looked like a balk, like he stepped almost to home plate and threw to first base. You have to step at the imaginary 45-degree angle at first base as a left-hander when you pick off. And you know, we'll get into the details of the rundown, but anytime a runner hits a defender, it's interference, and you're awarded the next base. We showed you Ian Desmond at the during the homestand try to run into a catcher in a rundown. And right there, Ike Davis stepped on Anthony Rendon, tripped him, and that's contact. You really can't argue that. It was pretty obvious.
Don't believe that one's reviewable.
All right, let's check the whole thing out again. Watch the step by Liriano. I mean, he stepped very close to home. This will show you. Rendon going first move. That was just a guess and go, and this is where it gets interesting. He drops it and then steps on Rendon's foot, trips Rendon, and he's going to have a nice cleat mark. See where he got him. Yeah, the right foot to the right foot.
Wow. So it's 0-1 to Adam LaRoche, who now could put the Nats up by 3 with a base hit. And he's locked up on that pitch, 0-2. Have to give Ike Davis an error on that for interference, so E3. 0-2 to LaRoche now. And Adams strikes out. Second K by Liriano. He has struck out Worth with 2 men aboard and LaRoche with a man in scoring position. Nissan will track it.
That didn't throw a strike to LaRoche. LaRoche trying to drive in the run. Couldn't hold up.
Well, here's that guy again. Ian Desmond, 2-out RBI last time.
Seeing more pitches, getting into counts, making life a whole lot easier on Ian Desmond.
And what you love about his at bat today, not only the 2-out RBI, he homered deep left center last night. This RBI flipped right into right center, just using the ballpark, and he's taking it where they pitch him.
I mean, I don't think he took 2 pitches in a row the whole month of April. And now he's getting 2-1, 2-0, 3-1.
2-0 here. And Liriano throws a changeup high in the strike zone to get back in the count. Desmond's next home run will be his 10th. He's hit 4 in his last 8 games. And he took a home run swing. Liriano easily best pitch today, the changeup. Pretty much made his big league living with that. The outside corner. Desmond doesn't like the call of Tim Timmons, and the Nationals are gone in the top of the 3rd. Liriano doing some
Nats Marlins game will receive a Bryce Harper music download card. It's actually Bryce on it singing all of his favorite songs. That's presented by T-Mobile. This giveaway will be distributed at all gates while supplies last. Get your tickets by calling the number on the screen and the website right there. Check out the last pitch to Ian Desmond. Backdoor slider. You be the judge. Strike or ball?
Ball, along with 3 others. He threw 1 strike in that at bat, then Desmond struck out. So we're going to the bottom of the 3rd. Jordy Mercer against Doug Fister. Fister, first 2 innings, 22 pitches, 13 strikes. I mean, he is all over the zone here.
But it's not just throwing strikes, they're quality strikes.
Yeah.
He's in, out, up, down, using all 4 quadrants. If you just go out there and throw strikes, you're going to get your head beat in, but he is doing a nice job of mixing it up, and that was just a strike to Ian Desmond.
And a 1-2. Mercer jammed, pops it up. Desmond, it's a sun field out there right now. He stays with it. Sun just a little bit off to the first base side, into the sunglasses of the shortstop. That's 7 straight for Fister.
Ian Desmond taking charge right here. Did a nice job of getting that glove up, shading the sun. Realizes the ball's not in it anymore. Makes the play.
Next up, the catcher, Chris Stewart. What new? Strike 1. Stewart with the Yankees last couple of years. Saw Fister in the American League. 3 for 5 career against him with a double. Strike two. I mean, this looks like a game of darts right now. And I'll tell you, he's not, as they say, wasting pitches on 0-2 either.
Just shaving off corners right now. Down in the zone with everything. In total command of this ball game as we speak.
And a base hit. Off speed, it was sitting up a bit. And after Pfister retired the first 7, the Pirates get their first base hit.
Might have been the slider right here on the outer half, and Stewart does a nice job of going the other way for the first Pirates hit of the game.
That'll bring in Liriano now, who has a chance to sacrifice with 2 out, or 1 out for the second out. He has 1 sacrifice this year, 2 for 16. 088 career hitter with 8 sacrifice bunts. And a strike.
Doesn't look too interested on that one. Kind of fell out of there and tried to bunt all at the same time.
Look at the comparison of pitching economics so far. 16 per inning on the average for Liriano. And a 1-1 after a throw over. Well onto the grass is Rendon at third. Franzen where he can get to the first base bag. And Liriano bunts it foul.
Who was the first one there?
And Pfister did get to catch a foul ball. How about that?
Watch Doug Pfister get off the mound. We talked about it his last start at Nats Park. This is a former first baseman in college, and he is like a position player when he pitches. Look at the effort right here by Pfister. He's the first one there. And we showed you last time against the Reds, there was a foul ball that was in the upper deck over the Nationals dugout that he sprinted into foul territory to try to catch in the upper deck. And I think that's great.
Liriano, fundamentally not a good bunting at bat. Third strikeout, 2 outs. For the achiever in you, PNC Bank, with our minor league report, and we check in on 25-year-old Taylor Hill. 6-rounder back in 2011. He's a Nashville boy who went to Vanderbilt. Big young man at 6'3", 233, and he's 6 out of 7 decisions. Look at the strikeout to walk ratio, the ERA, and he's gone the distance twice. Who does that these days?
He's so ready.
Nicely done.
Call him up.
Fastball right side of Josh Harrison, who flied to Span for the first Pirate out of the day. Just kind of walked out of there as the fastball came in. 88 first strike. Other than the Braves, the rest of the division in action right now. The Marlins are getting pounded at home. 6-0 by Milwaukee in the 3rd inning. Ian Desmond with the one-hander makes the exchange. And that is it. Doug Pfister, 1 hit, 3 shutout innings. 2-0 Nats.
2-0. Denard Span getting the party started. Ian Desmond doing his thing. Doug Fister has been all about strikes and working fast. So let's check out the first inning. If you missed it, just tuning in. Denard Span, leadoff double. There goes a no-hitter. Anthony Rendon would walk. Ian Desmond up with 2 outs. A wild pitch that scored Denard Span. Nice read by Span, anticipating the ball in the dirt. And then Desmond with a little 2-out magic to right field. That scores Anthony Rendon and makes it 2-0.
Yeah, then the Nats got unlucky as Franzen hit a screamer that was stabbed by Alvarez to keep it from being a 3-run or more inning. So here's Tyler Moore, top of the 4th. He has checked in with a blue base hit to right center.
To right center, and there's 3 guys on the left side of the infield right now. So he hit the ball. I'll draw. Hold up. Right there.
Yeah.
And now everybody's on the left side. Makes sense.
Hit a ground ball to the umpire, you might get a double. 2-0. And of course, Ike Davis plays about 30 feet off the line at first to take up some of that room, but Tyler is a pull hitter for the most part, and he does pull it. And that's a natural shortstop position right there. And Jordy Mercer throws high but out.
Tyler Moore getting it down the line, made that close.
You like to see that.
That was a hard 90. So you think a routine ground ball to short. Tyler Moore, not the speediest guy on the team, I guess is the nicest way to say it. And watch him hustling down the line. And Mercer had to hurry up there at the end just to get him.
There's Franzen, who probably hit the hardest ball of that first inning and got robbed. Strike 1 from Liriano.
Helmet's in midseason form. There's rosin and pine tar and who knows what else on that thing.
Hits it hard this time. That's a little better placed. And Franzen aboard with 1 out. The Nats have their 4th base hit. He just keeps doing everything Matt Williams asks him to do.
Another hard hit ball off the bat of Kevin Franzen. This one for a hit. There wasn't 3 infielders on that side for that one, and he hit it through the hole.
He said sarcastically. And I'm right with you. I'm just not a big fan of moving guys around in places where they're not used to being. And I know you concur.
Yeah, it's not so much about the shift, because I'm sure the numbers bear out that over the long haul the shift's going to save you more hits than it's going to cost you. It's a bunch of things for me. It's taking a guy that's played his whole life at one position and now putting him somewhere else and making him, in essence, a utility player. So it's say you take an everyday shortstop and you're putting him on the right side of the infield. Now you're turning a really good shortstop defensively into a utility player by putting him on one side. We talked about the relationship you have to the off fielder and how that's always kind of weird. And not even to mention what a pitcher thinks when a ground ball goes right to where the shortstop would have been, but he's not there. The mental effect that has on a pitcher. Yeah. So all those things go into it, and I sound like I'm 80 years old right now, but I'm just not a big fan of putting guys in places where they shouldn't be. I watched David Wright try to turn a double play for the Mets the other day against the Yankees as a shortstop, and he threw it away. He's not a shortstop. And I'd like to thank Francisco Liriano for throwing over 3 times and letting me get that all out.
It's a good day to vent when you're on a 4-game losing streak and you've got a 2-0 lead. Now the Nats, what they need to do here is just pile this thing on. A run, a couple of runs here. Don't let it go 2-0 into the 7th or the 8th inning, and a couple of swings change the whole game. Lobaton pulled the ball first time. Alvarez threw him out. And this is a tough time of the year now for Jose Lobaton, because Wilson Ramos is basically catching 3 out of every 4 games. So his at-bats, 4 at a time, but far between any others. Absolutely perfect Sunday for baseball in Pittsburgh.
Boats on the river.
Nats going home. Pirates going to New York after this. So this is their Memorial Day crowd. It's a good one. Close to a full house. Looked over but low and no swing, says Tim Wilkie. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Did he go? Yeah, not even close.
That's a good hold. And Lobaton on a breaking ball, or rather a changeup in the dirt, strikes out. So Liriano, 4 Ks on the afternoon.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one on this Memorial Day weekend, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Doug Fister bounced out to Ike Davis, first time up. Right over the mound, here comes Jordy Mercer. So the Nats get a base hit by Franzen. They've stranded 4. And after 3.5, Washington still by 2. To retransmit it in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Baseball on the pitching rubber and heading downstream on the Allegheny. That towboat and that barge probably about to get to the Ohio, heading down to maybe the big shipyard in Paducah, Kentucky. Doug Fister, last 5 starts against the National League. He has been good. Opponents only hitting .203 against him. Hardly walks anybody. Strikes out 8.4 per 9 innings. Well done. And he's gone at least 6 while allowing 2 runs or less in all 5 of those outings.
Did somebody hit a home run against the Reds to Paducah?
Paducah, yeah.
Paducah?
Yeah, somebody put one in the river, and I said that's going to end up in Paducah.
And I said he hit the Paducah out of that one?
Yes, you did. My dad was an old riverman working on towboats and barges, so he used to go to the Paducah shipyard and work once in a while from St. Louis. Hey, by the way, congratulations to Dave and Jen Jagler. Their 17th anniversary today.
All right.
Dave's got to work. And congratulations to Crosby and Molly Heights, who welcomed baby Lucy Ann into the world on Thursday. And we do that today because they've got some family here watching the Nats and rooting the Nats on against the Pirates. So congratulations for an anniversary and a new birth. New Nats fans popping up all over the place. Off-speed pitch and a good one. Neil Walker out ahead of it. And the count 1 ball 2 strikes here in the 4th inning. souvenir. But she's a little more interested in the treat for now. She'll realize how important that is a little later. Pfister on the attack, and Walker a great swing, taking it the other way. And Tyler Moore, a good job to get around that ball and make a strong throw in. Pirates second base hit, and McCutchen is next.
A nice job of going with the backdoor curveball at 73. I'm going with just kind of backed up right there in Pfister, and Walker with a nice piece, just going the other way, and a leadoff single here in the fourth for the Bucks.
Three innings ago, when McCutchen was struck out looking by Pfister. That's perfect on the inner half. This stuff plays so much harder than 88, 89, it seems.
I mean, you'd have to ask the other team. With the command, I think, in the sink, and just the tilt that he has, the angle on his pitches are what makes him so effective, because he's so tall.
Pfister listed 6'8", 210. $209 innings for the Tigers last year. Second time he had done that in 11, split the season between Seattle and Detroit, and threw 216 innings.
I like what he's doing with McCutchen right here. He's making him aware of the inner half, and I think that's so he can go to the outer half for the out. And there he tried to do it right there.
And kind of an arm glove block there by Lobaton on that breaking ball.
You can't get McCutchen out in. I mean, he's so quick from point A to point B. One of the shortest, quickest swings in baseball, to where he keeps that front elbow almost attached to his body, just drops his hands. But if you make him aware of the inner half, it opens up the outer half, and I think that's how you get him out. So first two pitches in.
Jammed him on that one and popped him up. Franzen right there. And Andrew McCutchen is 2 for 12 in this series.
Sometimes location mistakes actually work. Watch where this pitch was supposed to be, and watch where it was. Down and away is where they wanted the fastball, maybe backdoor the two-seamer. He lost it up and in, but he missed his spot so bad that it actually worked for him because the pitch was elevated. I think if it's down, McCutchen can get to it.
Ike Davis next, bounced out to Franzen first time. That's a good breaking ball, diving down and in to the right, the left-hander from the right-handed pitcher. And now Pfister can do a couple of things to get that ground ball he wants. Davis has hit into 2 double plays this year.
Just a complete game. I mean, he's so aware of everything. Throws over just enough to let you know that he's thinking about you.
And that could help you keep him from taking out an infielder on a double play ball. Keep him a little closer to first.
But I mean, his total game is just that of it's just awareness of detail, keeping runners close. He fields his position well. He handles the bat well for a guy that's played in the American League. Throwing all 3 pitches, 4 pitches for strikes whenever he wants to.
Well, he's been ahead in just about every count. And Davis goes upstairs. Snap throw to first. It gets away, but Franzen's right there to back up. So Pfister gets strikeout number 4 for the second out here in the 4th.
Well, he climbs a ladder, and another location mistake ends up working for Doug Pfister. You see the snap throw from Jose Lobaton to first base.
Yeah. Davis thinking he's going to throw me low, and then he sees a high fastball.
But when you establish the strike zone, you can afford to miss every once in a while, and it turns out it's working for you.
Here's Marte. Now, he did fall behind Marte in the first pitch last time up. Eventually struck him out looking with that big curveball.
You got to be careful right here. This guy's a swinging bat, and a dangerous swinging bat. Doug Fister well aware.
That's a busted bat. And Rendon goes the short way to Franzen with a sidearm fastball right there. So the Nats get through 4. Fister's been brilliant today. Denard Span leading off. He's 1 for 2 with a double and has already scored a run in this 2-0 game. Out there at Point State Park, the Golden Triangle, little upriver on the Allegheny.
Well, they got it figured out, don't they?
The Masson Yacht having a great time out there today.
Lawn chairs on the deck.
Well done.
Just cruising down the river, trying to get a peek into the ballpark.
Really, that's more like the Masson houseboat. The yacht a little more sleek than that, moves a little quicker. Kind of like the leadoff guy. Span on an 0-1 takes a fastball. Top of the 5th underway. The Nationals lead 2-0. They have out-hit the Pirates 4-2.
That looked more like the SS Minnow to me.
They didn't book a
little three-hour tour on the Allegheny.
That is ball 2, low and away. Liriano 4 innings, 59 pitches. Doug Fister 53, having given up only 2 singles.
The Masson speedboat's coming next.
Wow,
this thing's awesome.
2-2. Look at that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now that's the way to get on the river right there.
I'll take that little one on the back, the little raft on the back, and be happy. Even if it has a hole in it, I'll take it.
2-2 with nobody out here in the 5th. And Span goes the other way. Spun over by the seats, and Marte runs out of room. You told us what you want from local TV news, and they heard you. Watch the newscast with information geared towards you. That's the Next Generation of News tonight at 11 on WUSA 9. Good to have them with us today.
So they're going to the pull shift again with 2 strikes to Span. I just don't see Denard Span as that much of a pull hitter. He does hit his fair share of ground balls to the right side. I think we've seen that, but we've also seen him hit some to the left, especially against a lefty.
He's trying.
I mean, as a center fielder, even if I was on the pull side of second base throughout the course of an at-bat, with 2 strikes, I would always shift onto the opposite field side of second base because hitters were generally late. It just goes against everything I've been taught as a baseball player to play even more pull with 2 strikes. But apparently there's a lot of data in that third base dugout that says they should. I mean, you see the late swings by Span, right?
Yeah.
Because as a hitter, you're in defense mode with 2 strikes. You're looking fastball, you're adjusting. So you're not catching things out in front like you normally do when you have count leverage. You head 2-0, 2-1. I'm gearing up. I'm catching the ball out in front of the plate and hoping to do some damage. With 2 strikes, I'm protecting. And look how they're pitching, Span, with a pull shift on.
Nissan target practice, everything away. Pitch count mounting here, leading off the 5th. Yeah, inside. So the count full. Span has walked 13 times this year. Tim Timmons hearing about that one from the Pirate dugout.
The Pirate dugout's been chirping the whole series about every call. I mean, you can hear him up here. That was a fastball at 87 from Liriano, a guy that's fastball has averaged 92 this year. Clint Hurl not afraid to talk to home plate umpires.
So pitch number 11 of this at bat coming. Liriano has to be thinking, my former teammate is wearing me out here. And Span hits one fair and hits it extremely hard into right field. 2 for 3 day for the Nats leadoff man.
What an at bat by Denard Span. That's what I'm talking about. That's putting a big league at bat on somebody, folks, right there. Denard Span fouling off a bunch of tough pitches, finally gets one he can handle, pulls it through the shift.
Here's Anthony Rendon, who walked 8 times in his first 40 games this year. And now he's walked 9 times in his last 9 games.
It's a good sign he's seeing the ball.
Exactly, including 2 today.
How about Denard Span, an 11-pitch gem right there, ends it with a knock.
And Rendon sees a strike this time.
That is leadoff hitting 101, folks, right there. That's how you do it.
How's Liriano when it comes to looking at base runners and holding them on?
Well, he's good at picking off guys with the last name Rendon.
Oh, yeah?
Well, he did earlier today, and Rendon got in that rundown. He's got a very average move, Carp. That's a good question. He just, it's very simple. And Rendon was going first move, so when you go first move, you're just going on his right foot. When he picks it up, you go. You're basically guessing that he's going to go to the plate. But there's not a whole lot to that move. The guys that used to give me the most trouble were the ones that looked like they were coming to first, but then they would go home. So you're constantly jabbing back to the base all day, and you never get a good jump on a base hit. It doesn't allow you to get on a middle infielder for a double play.
And now Rendon ahead in the count again.
All of a sudden, Liriano's spinning out of there toward third base, and you saw Chris Stewart come out with both hands saying, "Stay in line with me," but he's really spinning out all of a sudden.
He has already spent 14 pitches on 2 hitters here to start the 5th inning. Wanted to come in, then the throw over.
I mean, he is stepping right toward home. I don't know if we have any replay to show the angle that he's stepping at, but it's not a 45-degree angle. There's an imaginary 45. I don't think that'll show it. But his cleat mark is almost to right where he steps when he pitches.
On the move is Span. He got a good jump, and he's in there easily. Denard Span, 7th of the year without being caught.
Boy, Liriano looking right at Denard Span. He was inching off, inching off. You could tell he was anxious. He was ready to go. And Liriano, like most lefties, when they're determined they're going home, they go home. Look at the jump by Denard Span. Even with both flaps down in the back, both pockets out, he still beats the throw by a mile on a great jump. And Chris Stewart had none chance to get Span.
Now Rendon with a 3-1 count, and he hits one high in the air to right center. Harrison going back, and this ball is beyond his reach. Span will come around and score. Rendon going to third with a triple. The Nats lead 3-0. There's the one to the opposite field we've been waiting for from Anthony Rendon.
Well, he's seeing the ball. The 11-pitch at-bat, I'm circling that at-bat for Anthony Rendon against Garrett Cole last night. The 11-pitch walk. Sometimes the more pitches you see, it locks you in. He got a base hit after that. 2 walks today, so he's seen a lot of pitches. And a triple for Anthony Rendon. I think the real news on this play is that Josh Harrison didn't make the play. This is a guy that's killed the Nats with his glove this whole series. He killed the Yankees in the series before that. And a great effort by the Pirates right fielder, who's caught everything around him for about 10 days. But the Nats will take it. Anthony Rendon will take it. 3-0 Nats.
And in a 3-0 game, Clint Hurdle not pulling his infield in with a runner at third, nobody out.
Interesting. In the 5th inning.
Yeah, he's about to say, hit anything beyond the pitcher, and we'll give you a 4-run lead. Worth down the line, slicing foul, and
almost.
You better duck, sir. Unless you got a glove on.
Did he wear that? Look out.
Yeah, that was a good decision.
Oh, I think he's protecting his kid right there.
There's no souvenir worth that.
No, that's a good dad right there. Thumbs up, bro. Nicely done.
1-1 to Worth. Inside, ball 2.
Shading his daughter from a serious line drive. That's good stuff. And the president's down there doing nothing about it. What are they doing? They got to jump in front of
They're
him.
getting ready for another race that will be fixed, and they will lose in the last 3 seconds.
To the Pierogies? No,
yeah,
really?
The whole weekend's been fixed. Well, Worth has been susceptible that at 87 with movement all day.
Let's go. Tighten it up down there, you guys.
They're not talking to each other, the Pierogies and the presidents. Somebody with an MBA has already decided the outcome of this one. And Worth will chop it foul. Well, Jason Worth is 1 for 11 in this series. He gets a big hit here. Really puts the Nats in command of game 4.
It also gets them to 4 runs, and we know what they do with 4 runs.
They win. Bouncer left side. And Rendon doing a little jockeying over there on the ground ball to Alvarez. Contact play not on with nobody out. That'll bring in Adam LaRoche. with a chance for his 22nd RBI. He's been out for 2 weeks and still has more runs batted in than most of the hitters on the ball club. Desmond sitting at 28. Rendon 26 with his today.
Now the infield is in.
Fastball went whistling right by his hip. And with a little more on LaRoche, here's Dan.
Guys, I mentioned I talked to Adam earlier today. When he went on the DL, he was leading the Nats in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage, and his timing was really good. I asked him how his timing's feeling now. He said, listen, you get 2 days off, and sometimes it'll throw off your timing. I got 2 weeks off. So he admits that it might not be perfect right now. He's on his rehab assignment. He was still kind of tinkering with some things, trying to get that timing right. But the Nats hope that he can obviously get it back sometime soon. They need his bat clicking in the lineup like it was before he went down.
2-0. And I did hear a story about LaRoche at Harrisburg. Hit a routine fly ball one night, but he wanted to test that quad, so he ran his hardest from home to first and around the bag just to get that thing going, not knowing if he would get a hit, which he did Friday night. He went a one-hit night, and there's a wild pitch, another one by Liriano that scores another runner. So Rendon is home and makes it 4-0.
The Nats are 20-1 when they score 4 runs or more. So let's check out the replay. Liriano again, and I think that one might be on Chris Stewart. Russell Martin, one of the more athletic catchers you'll ever see back there, a lot like Kurt Suzuki. We saw him block a lot of pitches in the dirt from Garrett Cole last night, and that's the second one that's got by Stewart here today.
And then he walks LaRoche. Third walk today, Rendon twice, and now Adam LaRoche. And he's aboard with 1 out for Ian Desmond. Ray Searage, the Pirates pitching coach, on his way to the mound, checking to see if the phone is ringing yet in the Pirates bullpen. No movement out there. Well, Desmond last time up, a hard luck called third strike on a pitch that was not on the corner. Time before that, base hit to right center for an RBI. So he's 1 for 2, and in this series 4 for 11. On base 8 times. Now the Pirates about to get their bullpen working. That one right in front of the plate. Desmond down the line, and Stewart throws him out. LaRoche to second, 2 down.
Be interesting to see what Bob Henley does with Adam LaRoche here. Should Tyler Moore single with 2 outs, do you send LaRoche up by 4 runs and knowing that it's his first day back? Or do you hold him? Could be interesting.
Yeah, it's a good call, and they've got some arms out there. On a one-hopper right at an outfielder, that would be the decision, right?
I'm just talking about base hit. See how that quad works. Do you want to stretch him out here with a 4-run lead, or do you hold him? First things first, got to get a knock.
Tyler Moore has 1 in 2 trips today. And that is Vin Mazzaro.
show him the fastball in to get to the changeup away, maybe behind 2-1. See where he goes.
It's a long inning for him. He has thrown 32 pitches here in the 5th. Not getting the calls on the outside corner now. 3-1.
That guy's getting it right there. Look at that. I mean, he's going to get a ticket, I think. He's going too fast.
And Tyler Moore takes one outside and walks. 2 walks in the inning. 4 in the game.
Kevin Franzen walking up there, hit the ball hard twice, thinking, is Clint Hurdle going to come get him, or am I going to hit? And it looks like Kevin Franzen's going to hit against Francisco Liriano.
2 on, 2 out. 2 have already scored. And Franzen was pumping 87 under his bat.
One in, one away. Might try to climb the ladder here, 0-2. Kevin Franzen will spread out, go to his stride, and try to put it in play.
Liriano will throw something close enough to at least get some contact to stay alive. And he got him. Liriano, long top of the 5th. The Nats got it started with an 11-pitch at bat for Denard Span before he singled. And then Rendon, after he stole second, Span that is, hit the wall in right center. A wild pitch would put the Nats up by 4.
But thanks for clearing that up.
Well, all I care about is that 4 on the board right now. Good to see the guys ahead. And as we said, FP, the 2-0 lead, that's great. You got to add on to that as the afternoon goes on.
Well, you like that they scored early for a change. They've been coming on late all season long, playing from behind, playing uphill. Today, finally, they got some room to breathe. And I don't know what's more encouraging for Matt Williams, 4 runs early or Doug Fister's performance, because he has just been all about the strike zone today. And not just throwing strikes, throwing quality strikes, mixing it up. And so far, keeping the Pirates hitters on their heels.
Yeah, I'd say he likes both of those. Pedro Alvarez leads off, bottom of the 5th inning, and that one skips in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fister threw 4, 53 pitches, 36 strikes. On a pitch away, Alvarez, who loves to pull the ball, goes down the line. Tyler Moore gets to it, and he will be held to a single as Tyler makes a good play to get to it. And he impresses us. Not the strongest arm in the league, but he's very accurate.
Well, nice swing by Pedro Alvarez going the other way, and Tyler Moore, who is shading him to pull, hustles over and keeps him to just a single. And I think a good decision by Alvarez to stay at first base, down by 4 runs. The Pirates need base runners, not necessarily guys in scoring position yet. So leadoff single here in the 5th for Alvarez.
Here's Jordy Mercer, who popped up to Desmond first time. Fister gets a strike on the inside corner. Wow, you throw it in there and get the strike call? That's tough on a hitter. Three singles by the Pirates. Stewart in the 3rd. Walker leading off the 4th. Alvarez leading off here. He made an offer. No swing, says Tim Welke, ball 2.
It's a good sign when you're playing on the road and it's a full ballpark, and you can still hear both dugouts chattering, and you can hear the umpires talking, and everybody down there asking to appeal this check swing by Mercer.
3-1. Fister this season has struck out 17 batters and walked 1. And here's a guy hitting just over 200. He can go after him, and he does. Mercer out ahead, strike 2. So 8 more pitches this inning. Keeping the ball on the ground. Fister's forte.
Four ground outs today for Fister, according to my scorecard, which is completely unofficial.
You are correct.
Yes.
It's because he's got 4 strikeouts. And Williams Ball Club about to come home for a week and a half. Would love to grab this one, get back to 500, take on the Marlins tomorrow. And in the air on the infield. Who wants it? Rendon.
No, who wants it is Doug Fister, but he got called off, and Anthony Rendon, who takes pressure.
I should have said who can have it.
You guys can win a meet and greet with Mike Rizzo from Masson. Just text Masson's word of the day, zone, to 29292 for your chance to win. That's zone, as in strike zone. And Anthony Rendon, who's in the zone as well, with a couple of walks and a triple.
Number 8 spot for the Pirates. They're about to hit for their starter, Chris Stewart, the batter, and he took a base hit the other way first time up. And the fastball right in there at 89. Jose Tabata is on deck to hit for Liriano. Right in on his hands. Pfister continues to effectively pound the ball inside to the Pirates' right-handed hitters.
He's got so much deception in his delivery. There's so much going on. He's tall. You talk about the down angle on his fastball, how that's tough to hit, but he's also a lot closer to you when he lets go of the baseball than most pitchers because of his height and his wingspan.
Alvarez, short lead.
In to win.
Ball person busy down the left field side this inning. Target in again. And a hot shot. Desmond thinking two, gets none. And that will probably be Ian Desmond's 13th error of the year. He came into this series with 10.
You could just see he didn't trust his glove to the backhand. Watch the glove move. And instead of just setting it there like you do when you're relaxed, watch him stab at the ball as it goes by. When you're confident and you're relaxed, you just kind of sweep at that ball, even take your glove back toward where it came from and snatch it. And we've seen him do that before. When you're kind of tentative, you wait for the ball to play you and you stab at it as it goes by.
Jose Tabata, first career at bat against Doug Pfister, who throws a strike. And the inning, which could have been over, is now first and second, one out. Tabata in this series, a sac fly. No official at bats. So Liriano goes 5 innings, 4 runs on 6 hits. He walks 4, strikes out 5, throws 2 wild pitches. He had a pickoff, but that resulted in an error, and he threw 98 pitches, 56 strikes. That's a Nats' 44th error of the year, the most in the National League.
Indians the only other team in baseball that has more, right?
Yeah.
They had 50 going into yesterday. I don't know if they made one yesterday.
Cleveland Indians have 51 errors. A lot of mistakes by the Lake. And a 1-2, and another chance to turn one. This time they will. Desmond DeFranzen, 6-4-3. And Doug Pfister rewarded for getting another ground ball. Keeping the ball on the ground gave his guys another chance for a double play. So the Nats out of the inning, no damage done because of the error, and we go top 6. And every time the Nats walk, and they were given 4 by Liriano today, it's $50 to support Girls on the Run DC, thanks to Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. So 153, 70, 600, $50. And when you get a chance, take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Go for a walk. Vin Mazzaro, 27 years of age, 6'2", 220. 57 games for the Buccos last year with a 2.81 ERA. He's a contact guy, 46 Ks last year in 74 innings. And Mazzaro, 5th appearance here. He hasn't been with the big club throughout the season, but at the major league level so far, opponents only hitting $185.
Yeah, 3 pitches, fastball, slider, change. The fastball average is 92.
Lobaton going the other way, first time up, hasn't faced this right-hander before. Doug Fister is next, and then Denard Span, top 6.
I didn't see the end of the race, but did the Pierogies win again? I know there were some serious collisions out on the warning track.
There was carnage on the track, and
there was
Pierogies. There's pierogi waste out there all over the place, but they cleaned it up, and again, the fix was in because the Presidents had a chance. Lost it at the last moment.
What's pierogi waste? Sauerkraut? Potato filling on the warning track? Ground meat?
Yeah, a little ground beef. This ball out of play.
They knocked the sauerkraut out of him.
Well, we'll see if the Pierogies have the guts to show up in D.C. on August 15, 16, and 17.
I'm not familiar. Was that Mrs. Pierogi right there?
Well, what a good shot by Lobaton, and that time right at Mercer, playing up the middle. So they did a modified shift on a left-hander. Right at the shortstop, Fister is next.
This is the carnage we're talking about. Yeah, there's some potato filling. Maybe some sauerkraut. Oh, Teddy, that's a concussion. Put him on the 7-day. And then the little dumpling to the finish line for the sweep.
Well, they won the skirmish, but the Nats are ahead in the war 4-0. Pirates, of course, have already clinched this series. The Nats just trying to salvage one here. Get home on a winning note. Marlins in for 3. Day off Thursday, then Texas for 3, and the Phillies for 3. 9-game, 11-day homestand with 2 days off, Monday, Thursday.
I have to board up the windows on my condo with Giancarlo Stanton coming into town. It's in range.
Yeah, look out. Fister, good hack.
See the couple he hit the other night? Oh my goodness, he is laying into some.
Nats box score, Denard Span and Rondon scoring all the runs. So they've been on base a combined 5 times, and 4 of those they've touched home plate. Rendon, Desmond RBIs, the other 2 runs on wild pitches, and a bouncing ball to Neil Walker, 2 outs.
If Anthony Rendon scores twice in a game, you can legally change his name to Rondon. Again,
He got in a run down and got out of that. Here's next Denard Span, 1 for 6 career against Vin Mazzaro from Rutherford, New Jersey. Originally drafted by Oakland. Acquired by Kansas City from Oakland in a deal involving, at that time, future Nat David DeJesus. And then the Pirates got him in a 4-player deal.
Last time up, Denard Span with that 11-pitch battle that he ended with a line shot to right field. One of his better at-bats of the season.
2 balls, no strikes here. Mazzaro, in 8 innings this year, has already given up 2 home runs. and Span up the middle. It's a race to the bag, and Jordy Mercer gets it there in time. Newest Olympic sport, stand-up paddleboarding on the muddy Allegheny. It's all Nats right now.
They're reverse. Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. 4-0 Nationals heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. Denard Span doing what Denard Span does. He's spanning on offense today. Anthony Rendon, a couple of walks, a triple, but the story has been Doug Fister. I mean, just pounding the strike zone with all of his pitches. That's paint to Andrew McCutchen. How about this pitch right here? Paint to Starling Marte. Then he elevates, a little elevation to Ike Davis, and when he needs the ground ball double play, he's got that in his back pocket too. So Doug Fister.
Oh. Josh Harrison sounded like he got it. It's into the Nats bullpen. And the Pirates are finally on the board, leading off the 6th. Harrison with his 3rd home run.
The little man has pop. No doubt about that. 2nd home run of the year for Harrison, and this one was a bomb. Little ambush, first pitch. That was not part of the highlight package. And Josh Harrison gets the Pirates on the board here in the 6th.
With his 10th major league home run in 4 years as a big leaguer. And then a perfect curveball dropped in by Doug Fister to Neil Walker. Fister gives up his 5th home run, but most of those were in his first start in Oakland. In fact, all of them were previously. Walker base hit the other way last time. And that ball into right field on a pitch up. Here comes McCutchen. And he's been very quiet all weekend.
See, first 2 pitches away, that one up, like you said. Caught a lot of the strike zone and a couple of hard hit balls to start the 6th for the Pirates.
McCutchen has struck out looking today and popped up. He has driven in 2 runs in the series. Those were Thursday night. And a bouncing ball. Rendon, Franzen, and McCutchen too quick.
Well, I like what Kevin Franzen did right there. Up by 3 runs. He didn't rush. He was very deliberate with the catch. He knew that he might have a double play, but based on the distance on the feed from Anthony Rendon, he took his time. And right now, the Nationals need outs. Good play by Rendon, good feed, but you look at Franzen, very deliberate on the turn, and that was by design with a 3-run lead. Comes off the base and doesn't get the speedy McCutchen on the back end, because McCutchen, as we always see, runs a hard 90 to first base every single time.
Yeah, that's 2 long throws to try to get that guy doubled up. So here's Ike Davis, 1 out. Pirates on the attack earlier in the count now than they had been first 2 times around the order. Davis, or rather Pfister, has been ahead all day. Davis has bounced out to second and struck out swinging. And LaRoche has to scoop that one out.
A little action in the Nats bullpen. Craig Stammen getting loose.
Perfect to the outside edge. Trying to get Ike Davis to roll over a ground ball to the right side.
Well, Ike Davis has done a nice job this year, as opposed to other years, of using the whole field, taking his hits to left field. When he was a New York Met, he was pulling everything, but now he's spread out and more compact and not really thinking about the long ball, just thinking about collecting hits and being a good hitter versus just a guy that's either feast or famine with a home run or a strikeout.
First hit of this series Thursday night, right up the middle.
Talked to him the other day in the dugout. He is so happy to be a Pittsburgh Pirate.
.72 on the breaking ball and a foul tip. Pirates box. No runs until a moment ago. Josh Harrison, his 3rd of the year. This is the first time they've had more than 1 hit in any inning. And that's inside, 3-2.
See if Clint Hurdle starts Andrew McCutchen here in a 3-2 count with 1 out, down by 3.
7 for 7 stealing. Not that it's a steal situation, but he's fast. And with the play right in front of him, he'll have to stop at second. There's exactly what you were talking about with a base hit by Ike Davis. 3 hits in the inning.
Very short, very compact, not a whole lot to it. Watch the swing from Davis. It's all he did was basically lift up his heel on his front foot, drop the barrel. Andrew McCutchen off to the races, looks in, and the play's in front of him. And he can't advance, and that's going to do it for Doug Pfister. Here comes Matt Williams, or you would think that's going to do it for Doug Pfister. Let's see what the manager decides to do.
He's at 83 pitches, 57 strikes. And he's taken the ball from the Nats starter. The end came quickly after the Nats gave him a 4-0 lead in the 5th inning. So here we are in the 6th. And this call to the bullpen, packaged by the UPS Store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics. Craig Stammen.
holders. Those are first-time plan holders. National season plan holders are an integral piece of the franchise and important to the success of this ball club. So we welcome you to the Nationals family and hope that you enjoy this 2014 season.
Well, here we go. Craig Stammen. Bottom of the 6th inning in a game situation. His 15th appearance, 2.42 ERA, facing Starling Marte. Ground ball to the bag for one. Rendon across, 5-3 double play. 2 outs on 1 pitch. It doesn't get any better than that for a reliever. So the Nats have ended the 5th and now the 6th with ground ball double plays. Just a home run given up. It's 4-1 into the 7th. Volkswagen moment in history, July 25th last year, and Bryce Harper would go opposite field with a walk-off home run. Can't wait to see him back this July. VW moment in history. And how about 1 pitch by Craig Stammen at P to get that double play ball?
Yeah, coming out of the bullpen, make your pitch. You know Marte's swinging. Nice play by Rendon to realize that he's that close to the bag and with that strong arm across. And I don't know about you, but I had flashbacks to Ryan Matthews against the Cardinals in St. Louis in the NLDS of 2012.
Yep.
I think he got 5 outs with 1 pitch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Something like that.
Anthony Rendon's had a perfect day. 2 walks, 2 runs, a triple, an RBI. So Craig Stammen keeps stranding inherited runners. And the Pirates have 6, 7, 8 coming up in the 7th. And the Nats could stay with Stammen in that situation. And I'm sure Doug Fister probably told him couldn't have done it any better myself. Fister, 5 1/3, a run on 6 hits. Didn't walk anybody. 4 strikeouts. He threw a double play ball. And Rendon will slice one out of play down the right field side. Even though he hasn't been collecting that many hits, Anthony Rendon's been on base 11 of his last 13 games. All over the bags today. And a 2-2 from Mazzaro. Jacked, hooked, foul.
Whoa, he's starting to relock, folks. That was upper tank.
Yeah. Second deck.
So a foul ball that was hit pretty well down the right field line, and now a foul ball that was hit very well down the left field line. Not even close to being fair, but starting to look much better at the plate.
And an off-speed breaking ball. Uncertain on the swing. 1 out.
That's my fault. I'll take that all the way. All right, as promised earlier in the game, we have an AT&T fan photo. Who is it today? What do we got? Oh, that's the best one yet. By far. I'm not even going to make up names for that one. That one speaks for itself. It's brought to you by AT&T. Very nice.
That's awesome.
That's the winner. That's a leader in the clubhouse this year for me.
Thank heaven for little girls. Jason Worth is 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, foul out, ground out. And Vin Mazzaro trying to keep this a 3-run game for the Pirates. He's retired 4 straight. Worth has never faced him. And he fouls one to the screen. Just an update on the division. Diamondbacks Mets have been tied all day. 1-1 6th inning at Citi Field. Dodgers 5-0 at Philadelphia in the 7th. And as mentioned earlier, Brewers all over the Marlins early. 6-0 now, 7th inning. Miami's a game and a half ahead of the Nats. And they are 2 back of Atlanta. Braves hosting the Rockies in a late afternoon game, evidently. There's the East. Time to get back to 500. Take it from there. Worth, strike 2.
I'm sure pitch track will say it's a strike. It likes the low pitch, and we'll look at it together.
And Worth up the middle. Ball knocked down by Neil Walker. Base hit. Bat broken in half. And the Nats have a base runner with 1 out here in the 7th.
That's either the second or third time this year that Jason Worth has run out on what he thought was ball 4, brought back to the batter's box, and got himself a hit. So where the umpire is actually helping him, and right there, the bat died a hero. Base hit up the middle. And Jason Worth will definitely take that. Nice effort by Neil Walker. He makes that play. It was going to be close at first base.
And finally, Adam LaRoche gets to see a right-hander today. He's 1 for 1 career with a single against Vin Mazzaro with a big shift on. And he pitches him away.
Well, now you're telling your third baseman right here, Pedro Alvarez, to turn the double play like a shortstop. Jason Worth was thinking about going right there. He had a lean.
Yeah, now you might have a third baseman covering on a stolen base attempt.
That part not as tricky. I mean, he's used to covering third base on stolen base attempts. If you don't practice turning a double play as a shortstop, it's not that easy.
And Worth jumping back to the bag. Well, one way to take him out of his shift is to steal second. Somebody has to play over by third base. And a 1-1 to LaRoche. That ball is through. Who's covering third? Worth's going over there. And the Nats have runners at the corners with 1 out. And we welcome Adam LaRoche back to the hit column. He's on for the 2nd time today.
No hesitation whatsoever on Jason Worth's part to go to third base because of what you said, Carp. Nobody covering third. Vin Mazzaro scrambles over there in an emergency mode. You see Jordy Mercer running over there, but right now Worth knows, well, McCutchen can't throw me out because there's nobody there. And I don't know if McCutchen would have if somebody was there, but it made the decision a lot easier for Jason Worth.
And even if they are there, they're either still moving or they have their back to center field to get there. Open up yourself for a lot of danger right there.
I even think I saw McCutchen kind of directing traffic before he got to that ball.
Desmond goes up hacking, strike one. Desmond 0 for 1 career against Vin Mazzaro. And a chance to get at least 1 run right back from the Pirates here. That is low.
Check out Andrew McCutchen right here. He is directing traffic. So the ball goes up the middle. We'll zoom in a little bit. And here comes McCutchen for the ball. And watch him with his right arm say, somebody cover third. He knows nobody's there, so he doesn't charge the ball hard. He stays back on the baseball instead of flying up to throw out Jason Worth at third, because there was infielders where they're really not supposed to be, I guess.
Desmond to right. That ball moving away from Harrison. He's got it. A run will score as Worth comes in. And Josh Harrison maybe cost the Nats another run or two right there. Bottom line, though, it's 5-1 Nats.
Well, I'm sure Ian Desmond doesn't want to hear this. And I know Nats fans probably don't want to hear this. But I love the way Josh Harrison plays. Hair on fire, diving for everything. Takes at least a double away from Ian Desmond. But look at the effort by Harrison. He's been all over the place, showing the baseball. And he didn't catch it.
You know what? That's not a catch. That ball was dropped. I was wondering how he got it into his bare hand so quickly. That ball's on the ground.
He showed it so quickly right here. We showed the first replay, and I was like, how did he get it to his bare hand that quick? But that's...
Yeah, and Harrison, he knows. He sold it.
He's going to tell McCutchen right now, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that ball.
So...
But where do you put Ian Desmond? I think you got to put him at least on second base.
I think it would have been an inside the park home run.
So this is interesting. This is the first time in my recollection that we see a challenge that if you win, then the umpires have to make a decision on where do you place the runners.
Yeah, this will be very interesting.
I mean, this has to be at least second and third.
I think you put LaRoche on third, Desmond on second, and
you know, in the crowd, there's a buzz in the crowd because they're seeing this on the scoreboard, and right now they're watching their right fielder pick the ball up off the ground, and they are groaning in dismay.
He sold it nicely, didn't he? He tricked me. I thought he caught it.
He did.
I still love the way he plays. I'm not taking that back. He plays hard every day.
So this should be a very quick decision. And really, if there's any sense to the whole thing, a quick decision on where to put the base runners too.
So I think Major League Baseball has a high home camera
in
way
every
above
ballpark.
Yeah, and that's how they reset the runners.
Yeah, it's just a camera that remains locked the entire game.
And Adam LaRoche right now lobbying, saying I would have easily scored on that. He's out there talking to one of the umpires. Can't really tell who it is from here, but he's...
Well, the only reason I could think why they would put Desmond at first and LaRoche at second is because Harrison came up with the ball right away and maybe would have had a chance to throw it back in.
Well, you said it's going to take, it shouldn't take long. I think it's going to take a while for them to figure out where the runners are. That's the part. I mean, the catch, no catch, it's no brainer, right? But it's just funny watching LaRoche talk to infielders and talking to umpires, and you got guys in the middle saying, this is what it's come to, huh? Where do you think I should be? Second? What are you guys doing after the game? Barbecue? Memorial Day? What do you got?
I'm going to
we're going to New York.
Going to
yeah, we're going to D.C. What time do you think we'll get in? 7, 8? Where do you guys stay in New York?
3.5 minutes now. They're taking the headsets off momentarily.
So they got to make the safe call first.
Yeah, it is safe. And they're going to put the runners at second and third, it appears. I think he just told LaRoche to go to third, or did he not?
He said first and second, and that's why Matt Williams is going to have a chat.
Wow. With
Tim Welke, and he's saying, how do I know that he would have been on second? And
well, it's a single for an RBI instead of a double for Desmond.
And here comes Clint Hurdle.
Now, what does he possibly have to be upset about?
That's what Clint Hurdle does. I think it's fair. The ball didn't travel far away from Josh Harrison. He came up with it. He came up with it quick, and I think that that's accurate. I think Clint Hurdle might be arguing about the run scoring, about Jason Worth.
No, he was on third.
I know.
So what? Yeah, what's up with that? So 3 consecutive hits. Worth, LaRoche, and now Desmond with the RBI.
So watch, it stays real close, right? So there's no way LaRoche could advance to third base. That's a good call, because he doesn't know if he caught it or not. And they looked at the high home where all the runners were. And if LaRoche can't advance to third, there's no way Desmond could advance to second. And that's how they figured that out.
Fair enough.
It's way too much thinking now with this replay.
So here's Tyler Moore. The Nats lead 5-1, 2 on, 1 out. And Tyler Moore goes to center. Pretty deep. LaRoche tagging. Will he try to advance? Well, that tells you something right there. Feeling pretty good. He's at third base with 2 outs. Next up, Kevin Franzen.
Well, hit ball by Tyler Moore. We'll check out the wheels of Adam LaRoche. McCutcheon going back, getting behind it, and not a problem for LaRoche. There was no hiccup in his giddy up going from second to third.
And we'll see if Ian Desmond might have something in mind with 2 outs. 3 for 5 stealing this year. Franzen at the plate, good contact man. And Ian gets out to a pretty sizable lead. Breaking ball in there. Well, you'd like to tack on 1 more run after you get that call in right field. Would have been 5-1 anyway, even with a catch.
Being told Josh Beckett has a no-hitter going against the Phillies through 7.
I've been watching that game. 6-0 Dodgers. Desmond started, then stopped, and the pitch just off the plate. 1-1.
Boy, you see what a fake steal does? You never see it at the major league level. You see it at the collegiate level all the time. It's called a fake break. And what you're trying to do with it is influence the umpire's call by maybe the catcher comes out of there too soon, blocks the umpire's call, even drops it because he's think he's going. And that's just what happened with Chris Stewart. Everybody, or at least Ike Davis, said going. Stewart popped out of there, dropped the ball, and didn't get the call. Little things.
1-1.
And you can do it to disrupt the pitcher's delivery. You fake break, everybody yells runner or he's going. The pitcher throws a ball on purpose because he thinks he wants to give the catcher a good pitch to throw on.
Looked like a good pitch too. Way outside and a block by Stewart.
Chris Stewart's had a tough time today blocking baseballs. A couple got by him for runs. This time he does a nice job of sliding over there and keeping Adam LaRoche at third.
Runners at the corners with 2 outs and a 2-1. Kevin Franzen. Desmond running, pitch inside, and Ian Desmond will steal a base standing up. His 4th of the year. So
I guess everybody to where they should be now, or where we thought they might be more accurately. Ian Desmond to second base, Adam LaRoche on third, and Clint Hurdle still not happy.
These things have a way of working themselves out, don't they? Well, Franzen could play 2 with a base hit and make this a 6-run lead. He'll fight, foul it off. An especially good inning for the Nats coming off the Pirates' threat in the 6th when Harrison led off with a home run. And then Stammen came on for Pfister and got the 1-pitch double play ball. 3-2, and Franzen will take the walk.
I think I hit.
In fact, it might have hit him.
Yeah. Carp, I know how baseball players think. And when you feel like you've been snake bit, and I've heard some rumblings in the Nats clubhouse to where we can't buy a hit, and I've heard it from a few players. They're not going to say it publicly. They've had a lot of hits stolen from them lately, whether it's Jason Worth or you name it, I guess. But when one falls like that, Josh Harrison diving for a ball, half of that dugout went, "Are you kidding me?" And then when it actually was a hit, now the superstitious side of a baseball player starts to think, well, maybe our luck has changed a little bit, and maybe the hits are going to start falling. Just on a little play like that, that's how you think in a dugout, to where, really, is this going to keep happening all year?
Yeah.
And now they catch a break, it's a base hit, and maybe a little different mindset today. Our luck is changing.
Jose Lobaton is the next hitter. He's never faced Vin Mazzaro. There is no activity in either bullpen. So this is Mazzaro's 7th, and it appears the bottom of the inning will belong to Craig Stammen. Lobaton hit the ball hard last time, lined out to Jordy Mercer, who is positioned right where he is now, behind Ian Desmond at second. That's on the corner.
There's 3 guys on the Nats that would get hit with a 3-2 pitch. That's obviously ball 4, where you get your base anyways, and it's Franzen, McLeod, and Espinoza.
Yeah.
It's just habit.
Lobaton, a big cut. There they are, the base running bunch. Worth, LaRoche, and Desmond all singled. Ian the RBI. Pardon me, it's now LaRoche, Desmond, Franzen. Worth has come home. And the 0-2 to Lobaton is inside. So 4 base runners in the inning. Nats have 8 hits. They've received 4 walks and had a batter hit. And Lobaton strikes out. Nats pick up an important run, though, as they answer the homer by Harrison. 7th inning stretch time, 5-1. Tanner Roark, 1-0 with a 176 in 2 career starts and 2 relief appearances against the Marlins. Johnny and Ray at the ballpark with Nats Extra on Masson at 1 p.m. So here we are going to the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Nats are on top by a count of 5-1. Nice crowd in Pittsburgh. The Nats have been able to keep them kind of quiet today. And Craig Stammen will be back to work here after that 1-pitch double play ball. I thought they were hollering FP, but evidently Steve Blass is throwing things into the seats. There were a couple of FPs in there.
Tell you what, this is a great yard.
It is a great ballpark.
Great yard.
Stammen will face Alvarez, Mercer, and Stewart. Bottom 7. PNC Park has a capacity of 38,362. It opened in 2001.
Tons of Nats fans made the trip. I mean, I've seen more Curly W's in Pittsburgh this year than I've ever seen before. They're all over the place.
Yeah, ever before. You are right.
You gotta love it.
Stammen back to work. He's fresh. He's thrown 1 pitch, but he did have to sit around for a while. He'll face Pedro Alvarez, who's 1 for 3 career against him. Alvarez today 1 for 2 opposite field single. And it's low and away for a ball.
So being told Josh Beckett threw 8 with a no-no.
Wow. Two balls, no strikes. Stammen throws a strike, and that's Franzen out in right field. Right on target for the out.
Doesn't matter where he plays. On Thursday, June 5th, the Plain White Tees will be playing what? Right about center field. I think that's where usually the concert stage is set up. It's 4 o'clock game. Free post-game concert series presented by the Travel Channel. It's free with your June 5th Nationals game ticket, so call 202-675-NATS or go to nationals.com/Nats Live.
Here's Jordy Mercer. 1 for 3 career against Craig Stammen, and today a couple of pop-ups. 0 for 2, 1 to short, 1 to third. And Stammen goes off speed with 80, a little bit low. But was that a swing? 0-2. Craig's folks are here for the weekend from Ohio. And that is low and away.
I think everybody's in Pittsburgh for the weekend. I've never seen a hotel so packed in my whole life. I think there was 14 or 18 weddings last night. Maybe. Slight exaggeration.
A lot of glitter. 2-2. And Stammen on the attack with that slider.
The disappearing slider, 85 miles an hour, looks like a fastball. Hitters have trouble picking up the rotation, especially in day games, and watch it disappear under the bat of Mercer. It's time for Toyota's K's for Kids. The DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
right in there to Chris Stewart. Tried to snap that front door slider to the corner, just missed inside. 1-1. Pirates bullpen. Looks like Brian Morris will take over when the Nats come up in the 8th, and the pinch hitter, if it continues in a moment, will be Travis Snyder. Fastball right in there. And a 1-2. Two-hopper. Belt high, Ian Desmond. And Craig Stammen continues to impress, as does the entire Nats bullpen. 5-1 now into the 8th.
Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Medical Center for every home run a Nationals player hits this season. So Ian Desmond, he's been contributing lately. It's for a wonderful cause, Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. And Ian Desmond in this series has hit a few taters. The first one to right center field, that was a bomb. Got all of it. And then last night he went to left center field on a slider, a second pitch slider. So he's been hot. And I think the only shortstop with more home runs in the National League is Troy Tulowitzki with 14.
You are correct, sir. Top 8. Craig Stammen gets an AB here. He's 1 for 3 this year. And Stammen in his career has 17 hits and 85 at bats. So an even 200 batting average. Had a fan emailed the other day asking, do relief pitchers all have their own bats? And the question, or the answer is they do. Craig told me, and Drew Storen told me the other day that, and they really appreciate Mike Wallace doing this, our clubhouse guy. Mike orders bats for the pitchers. They all have their own autographed models. Makes them kind of feel like they're part of the ball club, part of the offense, even if they take a called third strike. And then the Pirates throw it into the right field corner, throwing it around the horn. But the relievers do have their own sticks, and Craig Stammen, as a long guy, uses his more than the others.
Well, he hits with the starters at home. The starters hit every day before the regulars do. But if you're a reliever, you don't necessarily order bats to use them during the game. You use them to sign for free golf, free food.
Or you might have to trade a bat from the other clubhouse.
Or anything free. It's like an American Express card. It really is.
I was wondering how Tyler Clippard got on Oakmont. Although not on this trip, he told me.
Sign a bat? Sure.
There's a lot of knocks left in this one. Top of the order, Denard Span, 2 for 4. Double, single, steal, 2 runs. And a pop fly to center. Andrew McCutchen. 2 outs. Do we want to talk about this?
I'm not even looking.
Okay, folks, we're going to let you. I'm going to tell you that these numbers are brought to you by Jeep.
Yep.
We will let you soak them in.
I'm looking at the boats in the river.
We have to go face some guys in the clubhouse.
The Three Sisters Bridges, Jan, Marcia, and Cindy. There goes another pontoon boat under the bridge. Is it over? Yeah.
Our editorial comment to go with that graphic would be he's been very good in center field.
Gold Glove coming someday soon.
It better this year. It better.
Some good ones out there. Gomez from Milwaukee, the reigning champ. Juan Lagares has been extremely impressive with the Mets in center field.
Well, we saw that in the series at Nationals Park, didn't we?
Yeah, guy standing out there right now ain't too bad either.
McCutchen didn't win a Gold Glove last year, but he did in 2012. He's won 2 straight Silver Sluggers, 3 straight All-Star games, and of course he was the MVP.
Carlos Gomez did in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was reaching above the wall like every other series to pull one back in, and his defense got a lot of play on the highlight shows. And probably to make it fair, they need to give about 6 Gold Gloves for the outfield.
That's a good point.
Instead of 3. Three and 2 to Anthony Rendon, who's been on base 3 times today. He hits another one down the line that hooks foul. And this one just below the facing of the second deck. And this one to right. Can of corn for this guy, the way he's been playing. And yes, it did stain his glove. And that's a 1-2-3 for the Nats in the top of the 8th. What a good day for a little cycle trip around the Golden Triangle.
By Miller Lite. Let's go back to the 7th inning. Ian Desmond, nice swing, inside out approach. Josh Harrison robs him of a double, maybe even a triple. It's a sac fly. Wait, hold on. Upon further review, that is not a catch. He sold it nicely, but something was weird because he showed it so soon. The umpires put on the headphones and reset the runners, and Ian Desmond went from a sac fly and an RBI to a base hit and an RBI, and he will definitely take that every time.
Here's Travis Snyder, 0 for 1 career against Craig Stammen. Stammen's gotten 5 outs on 13 pitches. And he misses again, 2-0.
Can you send a whole bullpen to Minneapolis for the All-Star game?
That is a good question. They are, when it comes to All-Star selections, the bullpen guys are the most overlooked, unheralded men in baseball. That ball hacked to left. Sunfield out there. Tyler Moore battles it well. I'll say one thing for Tyler over the last 2 seasons, really 2+. He has never done anything to embarrass himself in the outfield after being a career first baseman.
He's a good athlete. Not shocked by that. The Peanuts are your summer home for the future stars of the Washington Nationals. There are plenty of promotions at the Fitz, including fireworks night, bobbleheads each month, kids eat free Sundays, $1 Mondays. So go to the number and the website and check it out.
You know, I might go down there if they had anything going on. Both bullpens busy. Top of the order, Josh Harrison. And Stammen misses up and in. Harrison against the Nats right-hander, 1 for 1 career with a double. I was just thinking, could Craig Stammen possibly pitch 3 2/3 and get a save? You can do that with 3 innings. But Aaron Barrett is warming up, and 3 2/3 might be out of the question. And that is Brian Morris, who was set to come in had the Pirates gotten to the number 9 spot in the 7th.
And Aaron Barrett on the left. You could see them both. The bullpens back to back down there. You see Barrett on the left. His mound a little bit closer. He's only throwing from 40 feet, I think.
That'll help that slider.
Oh, yeah.
There's a good piece of contact. Another 2 for 4 day for Josh Harrison. So in this series, Josh Harrison is 6 for 16 with a home run, 3 RBIs.
Clint Hurdle talking about Harrison yesterday, saying he's just a backyard baseball player. Doesn't matter where you put him. He'll play third base, he'll play left field, right field, second base. Adds energy to the lineup, and with Starling Marte struggling in the leadoff spot, Clint Hurdle inserted him there, and he has been absolutely nothing but a pleasure for Clint Hurdle in that top spot, and anywhere he puts him on defense.
Here's Neil Walker, and he's had 2 hits today. 0 for 2 career against Stammen. And the fastball missing low and away.
Pirates going without the belts today, the throwback unis.
I think they were the first team back in the 70s to wear the double knit uniforms that had the pullover tops, no buttons, and the pants with no belts. The old Sansa belt deal going there. And a bunch of other teams followed suit, but I do think the black and gold were the first ones.
I had pants in high school like that, no belt. You just button them up, and there's the old school stirrups.
I look at those stirrups, I think of Manny Sanguillen.
Oh, good name.
Their catcher, who was one of the most athletic guys you'd ever see behind the plate. The great Clemente wore that uni. So did Willie Stargell and Bob Robertson and Richie Hebner and all those great Pirates they had. Steve Blass right next door to us, one of the outstanding postseason pitchers until he tragically lost his command and just couldn't throw a strike.
Rennie Stennett.
Those are some really good teams, and going back to the sleeveless days with number 9 Mazeroski back in the 50s and 60s. The only walk-off World Series home run until Joe Carter did it.
Johnny Depp. I mean, they've had some good ones here.
He couldn't hit a curveball. That's why they sent him to Hollywood. I mean, the Mazeroski walk-off homer in 60, the 71, the 79 We Are Family Bucks. That's why I think everybody in baseball was so happy for the Pirates last year when they finally made it to the postseason. It had been 21 years since Atlanta broke their hearts in the '92 League Championship Series with the winning run at home plate. And Barry Bonds' throw was just an instant too late.
And who didn't do their best Willie Stargell in wiffle ball?
Yeah, flipping that bat straight over the top.
His little warm up, his little routine before he swung.
Pop Stargell. There are 3 big statues around the ballpark. Clemente out in center by the bridge. Willie Stargell in the left field corner. And a base hit to the right side by Neil Walker. Werth's going to take a shot. They do keep the other runner at first base. And look out, here comes McCutchen.
Well, 3 hard hit balls in the inning by the Pirates. The first one to left field, second one to right field, and now this one to right field. So first and third runners at the corners, 1 out. And I think that's going to do it for Craig Stammen. He's going to go get his pitcher. And Aaron Barrett going to take the hill for the Nats.
Craig Stammen did give the Nats 2 important innings of relief. Now it's Barrett's turn with 1 out in the 8th.
Barrett on the mound now for the Nationals in relief of Craig Stammen. Talked to Barrett the other day, and there are a lot of adjustments that rookies need to make as they kind of get into the flow of a major league season. Barrett's made 19 appearances this year, which is a lot for him just in terms of his normal, how many appearances he had made in the minors. But he also said before, I believe it was Saturday's game, that he had gotten hot in 8 of his last 9 days. Getting hot meaning throwing in the bullpen to the point that he's ready to get into a game. So 8 of the last 9 days prior to that, that's a pretty heavy workload. That's something that fans might not often think about, is these relievers aren't just putting pressure on their arms when they get into games. They're often getting warm in the bullpen and maybe not appearing in a game. So Barrett's had to work a little bit of a heavy workload early on this season. He's not complaining, but it is something that he has to adjust to.
Well, here comes a big-time matchup right here. The Nats lead by 4. McCutchen bats with 2 men aboard, and the slider gets a strike to the outside corner. That's a big pitch right there.
Well, it's big because you can throw it in the zone, and showing Andrew McCutchen that you can throw it in the zone. And now if you want to bounce it, you can. You definitely have to trust your catcher, Lobaton, with the runner on third base, but it's a big strike 1.
And McCutchen late for the Heat at 96.
I don't think I've seen Barrett throw 96 yet this year.
Giving getting hot a whole new dimension.
Slider weighs a pitch. Shook the fastball in.
Yeah, can't be afraid to bury it with a runner at third base. And McCutchen just enough of it. Sounded like it hit the glove of Lobaton on the way back. A 5-1 ball game. 5 tough outs to get. Pfister, Stammen, now Barrett. Big crowd today, 38,047 paid. A sellout. Nats have kept them quiet most of the afternoon. And a swing and a miss. First base occupied, no tag needed. And Barrett with a huge slider on McCutchen.
Well, how about the confidence level of Aaron Barrett? Goes slider away, and you thought that where the hole might be in Andrew McCutchen's swing right now based on the sequence. He went to it. Nice block by Lobaton, and a big out here in the 8th. Getting the reigning MVP, who's done all kinds of damage to this Nationals ball club throughout his career. It's a big out.
Up to the Pirates first baseman Ike Davis now. Base hit last time. And first pitch slider to him. And a tailing fastball stays away. Harrison, single with one out, went to third on the base hit by Neil Walker. Then the strikeout to McCutchen. And Davis to the gap. Span over to cut it off to keep it a 1 RBI single. Excellent defense by Denard Span. But now the Pirates will have the tying run in the batter's box.
Boy, you're telling me the New York Mets and their offense could use this guy? He's been outstanding this whole series. Base hit to left, now a base hit to right, and a nice play by Denard Span to keep Neil Walker from scoring with 2 outs.
Yeah, and he also kept Ike Davis at first. Starling Marte 0 for 3. Strikeout, 2 ground balls. One of them for a double play. If the Pirates come back into the race, the pickup of Ike Davis might be the acquisition of the season in the NL Central.
It's a bold statement, but if he does what he's doing in this series the rest of the year, it may allow Andrew McCutchen to win back-to-back MVPs.
They'll have to pitch to him, huh?
Yep.
Good call. That's a strike. That was a slider up in the zone, but it still had that tilt and that hook to it. And now here's a hitter. You don't have to throw him a strike to get him out once it's 0-2. And he throws him the slider to bury him. Great pitches to McCutchen and Marte. So the Pirates, for the second time in 3 innings, get a run, but they've kept the crooked numbers off the board. Safe situation the next time the Buccos roll around. 5-2.
Now available. Visit Nationals.com for details. It's MLB.TV Premium. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. And if you had that, you would have been able to see Josh Beckett's no-hitter today, as well as watch the Nats game at the same time. There's a line on Beckett. And apparently the last pitch of the game was a fastball right down the middle to Chase Utley. You talk about having some intestinal fortitude and throwing a fastball right down the middle to one of the best fastball hitters in baseball to get the no-hitter. That's what Josh Beckett did, and how about that?
Well, maybe that's a jolt the Dodgers need. They've been kind of playing under 500 lately. Started the day 5.5 back of the Giants in the West, 3rd place. As mentioned, safe situation unless the Nats score here. And the Pirates will have Alvarez, Mercer, and Stewart, 6, 7, 8. Due up in the bottom of the 9th. There's Brian Morris, 27-year-old right-hander, 55 games with a 3.46 ERA last year. 19th appearance here, just 10 strikeouts in 19 innings. But the opponent's batting average against him, a robust .313. Worth faces him for the first time.
He's got a good fastball. Averages almost 96 miles an hour.
That's a pretty good hook. 92 on a slider. Wow.
It's more of a cutter at 91. He's got a slider that's in the mid-80s. So maybe that was just a nasty cutter.
It had some cut on it. Mets lost their game at home to Arizona 2-1. Marlins beaten 7-1 by the Brewers. So there's a late afternoon game. The Braves are playing a late afternoon game. Bunch of ball clubs are today, just before Memorial Day. And they're not even underway yet with the Rockies. And Worth, though, get around one and put it in left field. Second consecutive hit. So he turns an 0 for 3 into a 2 for 5.
Well, that's a super salvage. You take an 0 for 3, make it a 1 for 4. You're feeling pretty good. I didn't feel great at the plate today. I got a broken bat single up the middle. Then you come up your 5th time and lace a seed into left field for your second hit. The patented bat flip by Jason Worth in the second hit of the day.
And Adam LaRoche hitless his first 2 times up. Then he walked against Liriano. And then against the right-hander Vin Mazzaro, base hit up the middle in the 7th. So 1 for 3 with a walk.
Talking to Ike Davis, maybe comparing notes. Ike Davis was 0 for 2 and he turned it into a 2 for 4.
LaRoche, 1 career at bat against Morris. It was a walk. Big shift on, and LaRoche will ground it. This would be a 4-5-3 double play. With Alvarez playing out there by short.
Well, they turned the double play. Pedro Alvarez didn't look very comfortable doing it, but they got the job done. You see the feed and Jason Worth with the takeout slide. He got the throw away. So the 4-5-3 double play for the Pirates.
Here's Ian Desmond, 2 for 4, 2 opposite field RBI singles and a stolen base. He's had a fine series, 5 for 13 and on base 9 times already. And against Morris, first career AB. So how about that for a good weekend? Next RBI will be number 30. Next home run will be number 10.
Just thought of something. Matt Stairs didn't get to say there goes a no-hitter today.
Oh, on the Phillies broadcast. How do the Philly fans handle something like that in their own ballpark?
I think they'd probably cheer for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you're a baseball fan, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at the very end, absolutely. I mean, the game was decided, right? It was 6-0. So when that's over as a fan, you're sticking around for one reason. That's to see a no-hitter. So guarantee you they were cheering. Or maybe they just booed Josh Beckett. I don't know.
1-2 to Desmond. Two of those today gave the Nats 2 runs.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Liriano in the first with Desmond batting, brought in Span. And then Liriano in the 5th with LaRoche batting, brought in Rendon with wild pitches. And Desmond lifting one out to left center, hit it off the end of the bat. McCutchen there. Soriano on the way. The Nats 2 in the first, 2 in the 5th, a run in the 7th, and a 3-run lead with 3 outs to get. Is behind. Some of the folks are heading back into the Golden Triangle area, and we are going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Alvarez, Mercer, and Stewart. The Nats trying to even their record at 25-25. Nate McLouth will take over for Tyler Moore for outstanding defense, and we saw it last night in left field. On the mound, Soriano seeking his 10th save of the year. Rafael, his 20th appearance. 0.95 the ERA, 17 Ks in 19 innings, just 2 runs on 12 hits. But he has walked 8.
The slider's been good from Soriano all year. That's probably been his best pitch. The fastball averaging 90 miles an hour, the cutter 89. His swing and miss percentage is up this year. Last year it was 14%. This year it's 22%.
Nats with a shift on for Alvarez, the power guy. And against Soriano career, Pedro Alvarez 0 for 1. Fastball inner half at 92. In the air, left side. It's going to be close, and it's right on the roof of the dugout.
Good slider by Soriano. 85, late movement, some depth to it. She's going out. I'm a happy girl. She's going to fight with it with her brother.
Another high fastball.
He's done a good job of elevating the fastball with 2 strikes when he wants to. I think more so than the slider that's been his strikeout pitch this year. When you talk about swing and miss percentages going up, it's the elevated fastball with 2 strikes, the one above the letters.
And he goes slider. .135 tomorrow. Tanner Roark and Nathan Eovaldi for the Marlins. Roark 3-2 in 9 starts. Eovaldi 3-2 in 10 starts.
Eovaldi with the highest average fastball in the National League. He can bring it.
And a ball hit out to center. Denard Span is there. Gathers it in for the first out.
No panic. You got a Span there. Well, when you look at today's game, and if they hold on to win this, to me, it's all about the first 2 guys in the order. When Denard Span and Anthony Rendon are clicking, this team's hard to beat. When they're not, it's a whole different story for the offense. But if they get on early and often, and Rendon has been doing a great job of getting on, as has Denard Span, the offense clicks when those 2 are doing their thing. And you had some depth in Adam LaRoche in the lineup today, and it starts to look a little more like the lineup that Matt Williams had planned coming out of spring training. Add a Wilson Ramos tomorrow.
Doesn't happen all at once, does it?
No, and it's a process even when they do come back, to where it might take LaRoche a few games to get locked in. It's going to take Ryan Zimmerman a while to get hot. Although he's pretty good. He's low maintenance. It only takes about 15 at-bats. And when Bryce Harper comes back, it's going to take him a minute to get into midseason form.
There's a good-looking slider on the corner to Mercer. Jordy Mercer, 1-for-2 career against Soriano.
But when you look at the Nats and we check out the slider from Soriano, they've lost 5 of their last 6 cards. It's been 4-3, 2-1, 3-1, 4-3, and 3-2.
On the hands, straight up it goes. Lobaton using his mitt as shade, 2 down. Well, you always say it's really hard to sweep. Hard to sweep a 3-game series, really hard to sweep a 4. And the Nats 1 out away from keeping that from happening.
It's really hard to stop a train, too, and that was a nice catch right there by Jose Lobaton, shading his eyes from the sun.
Final hope is the catcher, Chris Stewart. Facing Soriano for the first time. And he darts one to the outside edge, 90 miles an hour.
And even though Aaron Barrett gave up that single to Ike Davis, those were some big boy outs late in the game when your team's ahead for a rookie pitcher. He did a nice job as well.
And a ball to left. Nate McLouth has caught a lot of fly balls in this park, and that's easy for him. So the Nats, in 3 hours and 8 minutes, take care of the Pirates by a count of 5-2, out hitting them 10-9, and getting a good salvage of the series. And now it's home for 9 ball games.
Well, the offense did a nice job jumping out ahead, 2-0 lead in the first inning. Then Doug Fister really set the tone by pounding the strike zone, and I hope my lucky sweatband gets real smelly here coming up in the next week or so.
We will all look forward to that. So the Nats able to grab one. 5-2. Doug Fister outstanding today. He's 2-1. Liriano the loss. He's 0-5. Soriano his 11th save. Tomorrow, join us at 1 o'clock. Johnny and Ray Nats Extra will join you from the booth at 1:30. First pitch from Tanner Roark, 1:35. This has been a massive presentation. Johnny and Ray straight ahead with a good story to tell. And from the booth in Pittsburgh, finally, see you later. Happy Memorial Day.